Week 3 of the college football season, and Washington State finds itself receiving votes for the top 25, 30 to be exact, in this week's AP poll. That's what happens when you beat a top 25 team in the country. The Cougs coming off an upset victory over then 19th ranked Wisconsin, 17-14, to improve to 2-0 this season. Now the attention is on Colorado State. Unlike WSU, the Rams are off to a poor start to the season. A 51-7 loss to the entire country, 16 through 2 weeks. That's 5 more than any other program. With Pac-12 first-teamer Ron Stone Jr. and Pac-12 honorable mention Brennan Jackson on the edges, the Cougs will look to capitalize on the advantage they have in the trenches.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where if that's a weakness of the team, you got to attack it. I think, going into this game, they're going to see our pass rush and they're going to, scheme around it, and that's what any good coach would do, would make sure that they can eliminate that. But for us, we see that as a weakness, and we need to make sure we go out there with our best stuff and really attack this team.
These guys, they specialize in passing, and I think that we have to take advantage of our defensive line. They'll get the ball out fast at times, but they'll also sit back and try to take shots down the field. So we got to find ways to be aggressive, and we got to disrupt the quarterback who, to his credit, has stood in there and taken a lot of shots this year and kept going. I got a lot of respect for this guy.
The big fellas on the D-line will look to eat this Saturday. Kickoff against CSU is set for 2 p.m. in Pullman. Moving on to those Idaho Vandals. Has there ever been a time to be more excited about an 0-2 start to the season than now? Sure, there's still a 0 in the win column, but ex-Vandals have played 2 Power 5 teams down to the wire. Week 1, WSU in the Battle of the Palouse, and last week, Idaho led Indiana on the road at halftime. A rough 23-0 third for Indiana was the decision maker, but a few things changed, and Idaho could have pulled off upsets in both of those games. While life has been put into the program, Coach Eck still has one thing on his mind: getting that first win.
I'd say the one positive thing is I've been around some teams where you play these games and you kind of destroy the confidence of your team if you get blown out by a couple of those teams. And so I think that is a positive. I don't think we're going to be an unconfident team, going through the rest. I think we believe in what we're capable of. But we got to get victories, man. We got to get victory number 1. We got to be 1-0 this week, and start getting those on the board to get where we want to go.
This week, the Vandals dropping from FBS Power 5 to a fellow FCS opponent, welcoming a winless Drake Bulldogs team into the Kibbe Dome for the first home game of the season. Drake is a team that likes to run the football. The linebacking core will be busy. The Bulldogs have yet to throw for over 180 yards in a game this season. Kickoff for Idaho versus Drake is set for noon in Moscow.